Hi, I'm Griffin Cataldo, and this report is coming to you from eastern Massachusetts, where the air temperature is 48 degrees tonight in the city of Boston. Take a look over the city, and you can see that dark black sky in the background with the city lights on. A fairly pleasant night, southerly breeze. We hit 49 degrees today in the city of Boston, hence your previous highs today, 49 in Boston, and then we were about 54 in Worcester, 52 on the Cape. Southeasterly breeze today, and so it kind of hits the Cape, the eastern part of the state, better than the west, and so that's why you look towards Springfield. 44, 47 degrees is really all you got to today. But we will be warming up as we head throughout the night. We're just not doing that just yet. We hit 49 in Boston, and that was kind of the maximum that we could hit with our southeasterly breeze, and now we kind of cooled down. But the sun set at about 4:30 in the afternoon, so take a look. 49, now it's 48 degrees. We took almost 4 hours or so to cool down 1 degree. So it's not this great massive cooling that we're talking about, and that's because we're locked in with the cloud cover. There's a pretty good, decent breeze that we have going on as well, and so because of that, radiational cooling kind of did take over briefly, and that's because we couldn't really warm up anymore given our breeze that we had. But the breeze is getting stronger, and so once we head towards an hour or two from now, the breeze gets stronger, and so it will warm us up from here on out. We will lose the clouds, though, in the eastern part of the state later on tonight. So we are watching some rain. That's kind of the main event that we're talking about over the next few hours or so, and that will be for tomorrow. I did mention this yesterday. We could have some heavy rain, could have some thunderstorms. So I'm going to walk you through that right now. So we may have a few showers late tonight. I don't think it's a big threat. That's why I'm not really going to mention it a whole lot. I don't see a lot of symmetry with the models as far as any rain in the western part of the state prior to midnight, so I'm not super concerned about that. What I would be concerned about is some rain for your morning commute tomorrow. Starts in southwestern Connecticut, moves in the northwest direction, moves in the northeasterly direction would be tomorrow. And so we will have to watch for some rain. Pretty heavy at times for your morning commute. We got some pretty good lifting going on, and we do have a cold front coming through, but I think that's going to be behind the main precipitation. So it starts in southwestern Connecticut, moves in the northeast direction, and it gets to the city of Boston, I'd say noon. I'd say 11 a.m. in the morning or so, 9, 10 a.m. in the morning. It's in the city of Boston, and it kind of clears out, I'd say 1, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, as we will be able to clear out our moisture. Now, the upper levels of the moisture, the mid levels of the atmosphere, that is going to dry out, and so that's why you can see it here as the rain clears out at 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon. It's actually going to get lighter in intensity in the eastern part of the state, so it's kind of a nice cutoff how we're going to do this. Is it's going to be heavy, then it'll kind of get lighter, and then it'll stop in the eastern part of the state. And that's because we're going to be drying out one of our layers of the atmosphere, which will end up making the rain lighter in the eastern part of the state. You can kind of see it as it goes offshore, how it loses intensity a bit. So I'd say 1, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, it's over with in the eastern part of the state, and then we will be done with the rain for the rest of Monday, clearing out nicely, and then we will be able to potentially bring some sun for the second half of your Monday and finish off with a nice sunset. So now I want to show you the convective available potential energy. We call this CAPE, and the green and the gray is going to signify that we have a difference vertically with the temperatures, a warmer surface, a cooler environment aloft, and so that is very good for thunderstorms if you can get a cold front to come through where you can get rapid lifting. But this is going to paint out where the cold front is. Notice around noon, it's in the eastern part of the state. It hasn't hit yet. In the west, it's just about hitting. You notice how there's no energy to the western part of the state, and that's because the cold air is intruding and undercutting the warm air, and there is no energy for the atmosphere to work with, no difference vertically with the temperatures to the west. So because of that, it's behind the main precipitation. It's moving through, I'd say, Worcester around noon, but the rain is moving offshore around noon or 1 p.m., 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So that means it'll be behind the precipitation, won't really be able to tap into that moisture. It'll be a pretty dry frontal passage that we're talking about. Therefore, I'm not concerned about any thunderstorms or anything like that. We'll have to watch for some winds tomorrow, but it's not anything concerning. Main area of low pressure is water to the northwest of us. Buffalo, Cleveland, Toronto, Canada eventually. 1-2 weeks ago when we had that storm with our pretty strong southerly breeze, our low pressure system was right over us, and so that brought in some pretty strong winds. But that's not the case here. So locally, I'd say only 30-mile-per-hour winds would be likely for the Cape, maybe 30, gusts of 40 potentially. But that's about it, nothing damaging. Now you go up to Toronto, to the northwest to Toronto, Cleveland, Buffalo. That is where we got some winds. If you watched that Cleveland game today in Ohio, that was a pretty windy one, pretty rainy as well towards the end of that game, all courtesy of our low pressure system as it moves on through. And if you're in the city of Buffalo, you got a high wind warning that goes in effect for you guys as this storm moves through, where we could see gusts up to 60 miles an hour. Nothing like that over the next few days, and nothing like that tonight. Tonight, it's a cloudy night for most, and then there'll be some clearing region-wide. I think the most clearing will be in the eastern part of the state with the winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, it's rain early, but we will be able to clear it out in the afternoon, and then there may be some thunderstorms. But at this point, I think it's almost not even really a threat at all. And the winds south at 15 to 25 miles per hour, a little bit stronger of a breeze will be taking us through the day, and we will be able to see some sunshine for the second half of Monday. So I think the majority of us see a nice sunset. The only exception may be Berkshire County, where we may hang on to some clouds for a little bit. Temps tomorrow, 54 degrees, pretty likely region-wide, and that's because our breeze gets stronger. It'll be able to bring in some heat better. When it's a little bit of a lighter breeze, it can't bring in the heat as well, which is why inland areas were a little bit cooler than the Cape today, but tomorrow it's a stronger breeze, and then it brings in warmer temps region-wide for the majority of us. So that Cape, it's going to say 53 degrees. I think it ends up being a little bit warmer than that just due to its proximity to the ocean. Tomorrow night, we're in the 40s region-wide, and that's because we'll be able to clear out the clouds tomorrow. So radiational cooling will really be able to get to work and do a good job cooling us out tonight, tomorrow night when the atmosphere loses the heat. The breeze is going to slowly lose its grip. It's going to start to get weaker. And so as it gets weaker, it won't be able to bring in as much warm air. It won't be able to slow down that radiational cooling as much. So the Cape ends up being the warmest, and then inlands in the higher elevations, take a look, 33 degrees. In Springfield, a little bit warmer to the coast in Hartford, sitting at about 35 degrees. But that's about it for tomorrow night. It's a cold night, but take a look what happens here on the 7-day forecast with temperatures based on eastern Massachusetts, and you can see what happens. Tomorrow, it's a heavy rain event that we have going on, but it's mainly for your morning. The second half of the day fares out pretty nicely. Then look at Tuesday. I mentioned tomorrow night we're sitting, I'd say, the low 40s. We rebound nicely with Tuesday with mostly sunny skies, 49 degrees, some pretty good heating going on during the day on Tuesday. Tuesday night will bring in some rain, and it'll be coming at a time on New Year's Eve at night that I don't think it'll be bringing any snow or anything like that, not even freezing rain, because it'll be bringing in clouds and rain, which will keep the heat in. So as far as your Wednesday, New Year's Day, if you're planning on traveling back home or anything, it's not fantastic weather. At least it's not snow or freezing rain, but it could be some rain that we're dealing with. I'll keep my eye on that one. Otherwise, 48 degrees with some rain possible going into New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And then it's kind of partly cloudy skies to finish out this forecast. Take a look at Sunday, 31 degrees. It's going to get pretty chilly towards the end of that 7-day forecast. That's my latest forecast right now. I'll be back with another update tomorrow. Have a fantastic rest of your night and enjoy the Sunday night football game if you plan on watching that one.